What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about syrup today, Maple Finance. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I've gotten out of my syrup position, you guys. I think that it's time to wait and see what happens because on a daily time frame, it looks as though you've got some double bearish divergence here, two highs or two lower highs in a row with having two higher highs in a row here. That is double bearish divergence. That would implicate that the price could drop all the way back down to 28 cents. Now, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm not saying that's what will happen. I'm not saying that has to happen, but it could. A 32% drop in crypto, who cares? That happens all the time. That could happen. You guys, by this time tomorrow, we could be down there, and then this time the next day, we could be back up. You know what I mean? Like, it can happen in such a quick amount of time. Crypto is very, very volatile. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we had some kind of sell-off, and that's why I'm getting out of syrup, having some money on the sidelines, thinking about where to put it next. And I just, I'm waiting to see what happens here. We're up a little bit today, up 2.2%, and that's nice. But if we look at this on a 1 hour time frame, I think we'll see some evidence that we are going lower. If we're looking at the 1 hour time frame here, the 1 hour RSI, you're rejecting the 60, the bullish area of control, living below the 50, getting oversold, not getting overbought, not a good look, right? You were overbought, now you're kind of in a downtrend here. If we're looking at the price, where you came up earlier today, you rejected down, you had a bearish engulfing candle, your bullish hope just decimated immediately. Came up on this hour, found resistance at the same area you found resistance before and support before, back testing and checking for resistance, and you did confirm that, I think. If we're looking at this on a 4 hour time frame here, 4 hour was overbought for a while. You've been residing above the 50 for a while. Sometimes good things come to an end and you take a break. You've found support below the 50 as you have here, as you have here, as you have here, and all these times before. I would say that if you do go back below the 50, you stand a chance at going below the slow. If you go below the slow, you hit that 40 or you go lower, I would think that you will see this oversold zone or something like that, and that will likely trigger a event that sells off at least at a bare minimum. I would think something around 38 cents at a bare minimum, 38 cents, but we are looking for that 28 cent area ultimately. I think that's where you're going to go. If not there, maybe somewhere in between. Maybe not 38, maybe not 28, maybe find support right here at prior support and prior resistance right there at like 32 cents, 31 cents, something like that could happen. But lower is definitely the expectation. Even at the most minimum optimistic expectation, it's still over a 10% drop from here. So I do believe it's a good time to get out. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If you don't sell, if you hold and you just look to buy more, it's going to go up in no time. It's going to keep growing. This is definitely not it for syrup, and I could be wrong. You never know. Maybe I'm expecting it to go down. It just rips. Syrup kind of has defied gravity lately, but I am somewhat confident that this is a topping point. It's that daily RSI that's really giving it to me. 3-day time frame here. Looking at this. Come on now. 3-day RSI. You've been overbought for quite some time. Almost hitting the 90 here, bouncing off the 80, consolidating like this. I think you will probably come down, again, finding support off the overbought zone or off the 60, something like this, which would trigger, again, some kind of significant drop. The 3-day time frame on a price perspective, 8 hours, 10 minutes left. You're looking like you got a bearish candle here. This is a bearish graveyard doji, gravestone doji, if I remember correctly. Weekly candle. You've moved up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks in a row. This could be the week for you to move down. It would make a lot of sense that it was. And you've been overbought, man. You're just overbought on all your time frames. It makes sense that you'd cool off a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. If you go lower than 28 cents, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, take that as the opportunity that it is to get in, man. Because if you were to drop, let's just see here. This coin, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Let's just say it drops to 28 cents like I think it will. This coin's a multi-billion, multi-tens of billions of dollar asset, I think, by the end of the cycle. I really think that it has that kind of potential. Syrup here, if we're looking at it, 437 million right now. So, I mean, like, to get to a 100x, that's a $47 billion market cap. That's not impossible. That's very attainable. It could happen. I actually do believe that you could 100x from here, even between now and the end of the cycle. I really do think that that's possible. It's possible you could stop at a $20 billion market cap, $10 billion market cap. You never know. But a 30% drop from here. What's that? What's 47 times 3? 120. 100 and... Would it be 141? Is that right? $141 million down, so that'd be $330 million about there. $330 million. That $47 billion market cap for 100x turns into like $33 billion or $35 billion. You know what I mean? And that's if it goes to where I'm thinking. So the requirements for a 100x are lessened, and you might even be able to see a 200x of that price. Because who's to say this thing could really be worth 60 billion by the end of the cycle or more? That tends to be like the upper limits of what we can see coins achieve in their first bull cycles. But I do think it's possible. If not there, at least 20 billion is what I'm thinking will happen by the end of the cycle, and that's still phenomenal gains, even from this price, let alone from a lower price. And if it goes lower than I'm expecting, if it goes below 28 cents, that just ups those opportunities for 100x even more. So definitely good opportunities coming up for Syrup over the coming weeks. That's my expectation. But for now, I think you will consolidate a little bit. I think there's a little time in the markets to consolidate here, and we'll go from there. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. I've heard, I just watched, or I saw on X.com, Crypto. I love Crypto. I love Chris. I know everybody has different opinions about some of these bigger YouTubers, and Carl, I kind of think Carl's a little sniveler sometimes, but whatever. Maybe it's just his culture. Maybe it's just his, I don't know. But I like Carl too. But Chris from Crypto is the man, and he says, I just realized this is the 8th green Bitcoin week in a row. We never had 9. That's not true, actually. We have had 9. We've actually had 16 weeks in a row of green side for Bitcoin. It happened all the way back here in right here, yeah. 2012, 2013. We had a lot. And then even before then, we had more than 9. So it's just been a while since we've had 9 weeks of growth. And back then, this was crazy euphoric times. Bitcoin and crypto was proving itself to be real and like actually viable as a commodity, right? Here, it's proving itself to be real and as a viable option for institutional players, governments, large entities to put a lot of wealth into as a store of value, right? Back here, it was a valid project. It was proven to not be a scam and actually grew over time, right? It actually, the fundamentals are what kept it alive. Now, and it validated itself, right? That's just validation there. Now we're validating that we're a store of value. It's a different kind of validation. I think that can create an environment where we see some unprecedented price action. All I'm trying to say here is I think Bitcoin's going to continue to grow. I do think Syrup is going to drop over some time. So if Bitcoin's growing and the rest of crypto is growing, but Syrup's dropping, don't feel like this thing sucks, right? It's been pumping while the rest of the market's been dropping. So it's just been taking its sweet time doing it. I mean, overall, from a low here on April 7th to where we are now, we're up like 397%. Most coins are up 50% right now, if that even, you know what I mean? So this thing's outperforming the markets. I would expect this drop to be very fast, very, very quick. It's going to happen just like that. Other coins are going to be pumping. You're going to think you're in the wrong project, and right as soon as you think that, that's the perfect time to sell or perfect time to buy, and then we go up. Don't sell. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If you're looking to sell, this is probably the best time to do it, but the thing is, what if it goes higher? What if it just keeps doing this? What if it keeps doing this? And if it does, looking at this real quick, I'll end the video on this note. If we were to do something like this, like we did last time, let me get this a little bit better, where we've got a lower high here in the RSI, right here, between this high and this high, you have a lower high. You would have expected some bearish divergence to take shape, and that's exactly what we expected this day. But if you keep moving like this, and then inevitably you get back into the overbought zone without continuing on your path to your bearish divergence, that's how you know that you're reversing. So if we move down, we make a move down like this, we get out of the overbought zone, but then we come back into it one day. If we get out of it and then come back into it, not bounce off of it, right? We got out of it and then came back into it. When we came back into it here, we just happened to be higher. I would think that if we got out of it now and then we came back into it, we wouldn't have to be above this high. Getting out of the overbought zone, coming back into it, that would likely suggest that this bearish divergence is fugazi, it's not real, and we're going to move up. We're just going to continue to move up. So watch for that too. And I'll keep you guys posted, right? I'll hold your hand through this. I do believe we're going to go down, but if I have any suspicion that we're not going lower, we'll pay attention to this, right? We know that Syrup can defy gravity, so we'll keep that on the radar. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you liked the video. If you do, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.